Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Mintlayer community call. My name is Michael Bille, and I work on the business side at Mintlayer. And I'm here today with our developing lead, Ben Marsh, to take you through the latest of what we have been working on. So, Ben, are you around?
Yeah, I'm here.
Perfect, perfect. Before we begin, if any of you guys out there on Telegram, if you have any questions regarding the developing of Mintlayer during this community call, please shoot the question in our official channel on Telegram, as we will be around for questions just after this call. So we will answer your questions on Telegram just after this community call. So Ben, how are you feeling today?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good here. Thanks as well. It's a sunny day in Portugal, so no complaints here. So thank you for joining me today. Let's get dive into this one. We have a bunch of things to cover today, so here's what is on the agenda. First, we're gonna do a recap of our latest progress report, which came out just 2 days ago, and you can read it on our website. And we will also cover what we have been working on and also what exciting things are coming next. And lastly, we of course will be around Telegram for your questions afterwards. Okay, it's been a busy month since the last community call. So Ben, how has everything been going on the developing front for the last 5 weeks?
Yeah, it's been going well. So lots going on all three of the key projects. So the web wallet, the mobile wallet, and the core node. Everyone's been pretty busy, been lots of pull requests and lots of new code merged.
That sounds amazing. That's great to hear. And I know the team is working super hard, but they still have some energy left for the next super exciting 6 months ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So there's plenty going on still at the moment, with some exciting things to come in the near future. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what we get up to. Really, yeah.
Great to hear, Ben. All right, moving on. Let's dive into the developing update. In the latest progress report, we covered Mojito Wallet updates regarding to the Lightning Network and hardware wallet integration. And we also covered the core development regarding the Genesis block and the token standards on Mintlayer. And we lastly covered the consensus mechanism regarding the DSA consensus protocol. So Ben, I know you and your team have been working hard since our last developing update. So let's dive into what is new. I got a list here with topics I really want to ask you about and pick your brain on how these things works. So let's start with the Mojito wallet. It's already launched and working very well. We already have the native Bitcoin wallet on Mojito, and now we are about to integrate the Lightning Network too, which is super exciting. So Ben, tell us more about this feature. Will this actually mean that in future we can use the Mojito wallet for payments in shops who are accepting Bitcoin Lightning payments, of course?
Yeah, of course you will. So you will be able to send transactions on the Lightning Network to anyone and everyone that you decide you would like to do so with. So this has been under development for a short while now. So we have recently started sending transactions on the testnet and have been through quite a few of these, and there have been some real transactions sent now on the mainnet. So everything is looking pretty good here. So essentially, we're just in the process of continuing to test the Lightning Network stuff at the moment. Um, on the whole, it's sort of finished. Probably a bit more testing, maybe a few small tweaks to finish it off. But in the very near future, I expect that to be available publicly.
That's great news, Ben. I'm just like super bullish on Bitcoin and the Lightning Network, as I really believe it's gonna scale up the next few years to be something everyday users gonna use. So super exciting and great. We are in the progress early stage here at Mintlayer. So that is really good news. And yeah, security is a very high priority at us for us here at Mintlayer. And Mojito Wallet is already a non-custodial wallet, and now you're looking into integrating hardware wallet so our users can take more control over their asset and move it to offline cold storage if they want so. When do you expect this feature to be added to Mojito?
So we are planning. So this isn't on the roadmap, obviously. This is something that has been sort of planned in private, so to speak. So we have started that process. We've been having some conversations with a chap from outside of the formal project, who has done this before and has worked on integrating existing wallets with both Ledger and Trezor. So he is helping us plan this and how to go about it, and will almost certainly help with the actual development of this as well. So although we haven't formally started development until we have released the Lightning Network stuff, so that's going to come first before we formally start it, most of the sort of planning and design stuff is well underway at this point. And yeah, it's going along slowly but surely at the moment.
All right, yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Now let's talk about the long-awaited browser extension. I know that the community have asked for this for some times now after we launched the Mojito wallet. So yeah, this browser extension will actually allow you to use the Mojito wallet directly on Chrome, Brave, Firefox, and Edge browsers. So Ben, are we still in track for a public release on the Mojito browser extension within the next 2 weeks, as you mentioned on the broadcast report?
So yeah, towards the end of August, we'll be looking to release it, maybe pushing it back slightly, depending on how the last bit of testing goes. So again, it's something that hasn't been on the roadmap, so it's not something we've necessarily formally discussed when we're going to release this. But in the next month or so, it will definitely be available. So it's currently in essentially a testing phase. So most of the key features exist and have been tested, at least to some extent. And we are in the process of testing the sort of more nitty-gritty things at the moment. There is still a few small things that need to be added, but most of it is done at this point. So over the last, well, since the last progress report, we have actually been building a lot of infrastructure for the back end, which didn't exist beforehand, but has made life easier and will eventually become part of the mobile wallet too. So, yeah, so there's been lots of work on that sort of stuff at the moment. So you'll probably see those repositories become public pretty soon as well. Over the next, yeah, as I said, about a month or so. During that period, those repos will go live, and yeah, we will have the first release.
Perfectly. So, as we all can hear, that Mojito wallet is not like just standing still. We are moving in high pace with the Lightning integration and now browser extension and hardware integration. So that's wonderful. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So now let's go to the next topic. I have on my list here that the core development. Regarding the Genesis block, which is the first block on Mintlayer blockchain, we have changed the Genesis block from a traditional block to its own type of block. What are the reasons for this update? Can you tell us more about that?
Well, so there's only ever going to be one Genesis block. So there's no reason for it to be identical to every other block. So there was a long discussion about this in the engineering team where someone proposed this idea and we decided to go with it. The idea being there's only ever going to be one of them, so why not make it its own special type? Because we know we're never going to accept another one appearing on chain. So no, I guess the best way to phrase it is it's a security feature. It's we know we're only ever going to expect one of them, so let's only accept one of them ever. So there's been some work to split the Genesis block out from the sort of more traditional block types, and yeah, this was one of the things that's been going on.
Okay, yeah, interesting because I actually don't know any other blockchains right now that have like a unique Genesis block. Is that kind of the first time this has been done, or do we know anything been done before? Work on this before
I
regarding?
have seen it elsewhere, but it's incredibly rare.
Yeah,
I've not seen many people doing this.
but for a security reason, that's a good way to do this thing. So
Yeah,
it's exciting. I agree. It sounds cool. So let's move on the core developing. We have our token standards on Mintlayer, and
yeah,
we have these MLS tokens, and we have three of them. Uh,
yes,
we have like MLS1 is the standard token, and we have the MLS2 is privacy token, and lastly we have MLS3 is the NFT tokens. And
yeah.
the MLS1 standard token is actually already in the testing phase, so that's amazing.
So
And
yeah,
yeah,
so we've been doing some testing on that for a while now. The pull request has been open for a while. Um, we are currently changing how it's being implemented. So we found a few ways to optimize the implementation that was originally done. So we are currently fixing a few things and making that code essentially more streamlined at the moment. And then we will go back into the testing phase. But yeah, we saw some easy ways to make it well, yeah, more streamlined, quicker for the nodes to use. So we decided to fix those things first, and then we'll go back to the testing phase.
all right, good things. And yeah, and regarding to the MLS1, the standard token on Mintlayer, uh, in future these tokens will have features as access control list and also the Lightning Network integration and directly decentralized swaps from the original native Bitcoin to any MLS1 token issued on Mintlayer. For me, this is a huge deal. I'm hugely bullish on these badass features. Any comment here, Ben, on this, or is it just me?
So the atomic swaps will come relatively soon in the roadmap. I mean, I say relatively soon because they're not all that soon. They will come somewhere in this sort of mid of next year, maybe Q2, Q3, this sort of time next year. Which will be the first way to use Mintlayer with the Bitcoin network natively. Then, as you were mentioning, essentially the ability to have swaps to tokens. So we're essentially heading towards DEX at this point. So this is, I think, going to be the most sort of it's going to be the standard bearer, I think, so to speak, for the Mintlayer. It's going to be the most important thing that appears. But obviously, there's a whole load of things that we need to build before we get to that point. So it's unfortunately a long way down the line at the moment. But there's lots of cool features that are going to come first, all of which are ultimately going to be leading up to that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, again, fantastic feature at the end, and a lot of other cool things are in the roadmap as well.
Yeah.
So just a second here, just having some issues. All right, I'm back here. I'm back here. But yeah, let's move on to the next thing here, and that is the moving on. Let's talk about the DSA consensus protocol.
Yeah,
Uh,
so just like
yeah,
last time, this is still an area of active research. So there are a couple of us who are devoting a good chunk of time to this at the moment. Again, still doing some pure researchy bits, looking at how other people have gone about this, reading papers, doing some maths, these sorts of bits. Some of it's sort of prototyping. So if you look on GitHub, you'll see there is an open pull request, which is still a draft at the moment because it's not ready, but is where things are starting to go. And then, yeah, there's a couple of us who are having lots of calls about this at the moment and working towards this sort of version 0 of the consensus. So although it is not finished yet. And we will probably have this same conversation in a month's time, although we will be further along, but still probably won't be finished at that point. It is moving along. I'm happy with the way that this is going and the progress we're making. And yeah, we are getting something good out of the end of this at the moment. And of course, everything that we're doing at the moment is ultimately going to end up in the sort of final version of DSA, which is the DSA which everyone has been talking about for a while, which there is still a lot of more formal things to do on. So we need to start writing some formal security proofs and proving things out more formally there. Whereas what we're doing at the moment, we are able to borrow other people's work for it, which has meant there's a lot less for us to do in the time we have. And this hasn't been going on entirely internally, so there have been some conversations with some friends I have in the academic world who are doing this sort of research. And yeah, so we've had some external input on this and some liaisons with academics as we've been going through this as well.
Oh, sounds good. Yeah, I know you're doing a bunch of research and working on this DSA. So yeah, great stuff at all. So yeah, next thing on my list is what exciting things are coming next here at Mintlayer on the developing front. So
So, I mean, the first two things that are probably worth mentioning are we're going to have the two wallet releases coming up. So, one for the mobile with the Lightning Network added to it, and the first release of the web wallet, both of which should be relatively soon now. They should be really quite quick from here. Then we have some things for the mobile wallet, which we're going to start working on, which aren't in the public roadmap. So they include the hardware wallet support, which we have touched on earlier in this call. And there are a few other bits like the ability for users to generate their own entry for generating the seeds for their wallets, and also multi-sig support in the Mojito wallet for mobile wallets. I mean, of course, these features will ultimately be ported across to the web wallet as well, although it will always be sort of very slightly behind because we started the mobile wallet before. But yeah, so essentially everything that comes out on the mobile wallet will eventually be mirrored in the web wallet as well. And then, of course, there's the core node, which I guess is probably more exciting to most people. It's what we're ultimately here for. So we are still on track to release a testnet late this year, and we have the things coming up in that are things like the proof of stake consensus will be merged at some point, or the token code will be merged at some point. We have a few bits going on with the mempool at the moment as well, so it's all still lots going on at the moment, which perhaps is somewhat hidden from the end user, but when the testnet appears, it will be slightly more visible, I suppose. Yeah, so plenty going on.
awesome, Ben. So there's plenty more in line for Mintlayer as we're getting closer to TGE and mainnet launch, which both are on track and scheduled for Q1 next year. And I can advise from the business front that we are planning on bringing in calls and AMS with newly partnership establishment as well, just to get an understanding on how Mintlayer will bring value to these partners and vice versa. So I hope you guys out in the community will like these calls as well to see what great things we're working on from the business side too here at Mintlayer. And also we will, next year we will also go to some selected blockchain and Bitcoin events around the world. So feel free to meet us there, and it will be a pleasure for us to see you and talk to you regarding Mintlayer as well in person. And we will, of course, advise you in advance which conferences we will be participating in. Well, that's all we got time for today and all on our list today. Ben, as always, appreciate your time and your hard work. And for all of you who joined us, thank you for your great support and interest in Mintlayer. Don't forget to spread the word. We are very active on Twitter and Telegram. So let's wrap it up. Feel free to send us questions to our Telegram channel. Both Ben and I will be there and answering some questions. And our good team is always active there, so always reach out to them on Telegram. And thank you so much for today. I'm Michael Bille. Thank you for your time. Look forward to chatting with you again soon. Ben, have a good day and thank you for joining me.
Yeah, you too. Cheerio.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Exciting things ahead. Bye for now, guys.